Okay, so here we go. Uh, Welcome to another episode of this show by Pioneer Book Lovers Club. The club was set up in 2020 with the object of promoting reading and writing of literature. The club also has a Facebook group by the same name, Pioneer Book Lovers Club. Members of the group read, discuss, and review books. The club is also running a Write Contest 2021 since May this year, and where we invite short stories based on a prompt released every month. Best entries have a chance to get published in an anthology at the end of the year. The details of this contest, Write Story Contest 2021, are also available on our Facebook group. We also invite authors for interacting on this show. And this is today is the third episode of this author interaction with our viewers and with our readers. This we are also running on Facebook Live. And I would request that all those who are watching this on the Facebook to please also share it on their Facebook wall, Facebook page, so that others are also able to view this session. Now, our author of the month for this month, December, the last month of 2021, is Asha Iyer Kumar. Now, I would like to read out a short introduction of the author from her own website, that is www.ashaiyerkumar.com. That is ASHAIYERKUMAR.com. Now, Asha is a multifaceted personality. She is the founder of iBloom FZE, a life writing coaching enterprise based in Dubai that aims to bring the craft of writing and the art of living together. Asha herself is also based in Dubai. As an author, children's writing coach, and youth motivational speaker, Asha aims to use the power of story writing to relate to and understand the world around her and transform young people's lives by helping them recognize the subtle and sublime aspects of life through the written word. There is more, but I would not like to keep you away from the author herself. So without wasting any more time, let us learn more about Asha in her own words. Welcome to Pioneer Book Lovers Club live show, Asha.
Thank you very much, Sanjay ji.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Please tell our viewers and our readers more about your life journey. Where do you come from? Your early years, your family, everything that you would like to share with us.
All right. Thank you very much, first of all, for having me here, and great pleasure. I've known you for a few months now, but Sanjay ji, it feels like, I've known you for a long time, and your passion for books and your passion for reading, I cannot speak enough about it. Some other day, probably, when I would have a chance to interview you, probably we will speak more about it. But thank you very much. And thank you very much for all those who are there joining us this afternoon in this conversation. Yes. Where do I come from? I come from Kerala. I'm from Kerala, and we are the so-called, the Tambrams from Palakkad, the very well-known, from Vidya Balan, Shankar Mahadev, and let's have any number of names, T.H. Station. So their reflected glory on me, is something that I always speak about. So I'm from Palakkad, and I've done my post-graduation in journalism, although journalism was something that I wanted to do when I took up the course, but I did not pursue it in the earnest, because very soon I realized that was not what I wanted to do. And that's how I shifted to writing. Literary writing is entirely different from journalistic writing, so I realized that journalistic writing is not exactly my cup of tea, and that's how I made the shift, because the transition was slow and steady. But I realized that I was not going to be a journalist full time. So that's my background in education, and I moved to the Middle East in 1998 when I got married, and we have been here since then. And this is, for all practical purposes, our home as of now. And what else? What else do I need to say, Sanjay ji?
No, that's really wonderful, Asha.
Yeah.
And see, Asha, I recently, about a few months back, I read her book, That Pain in the Womb. This was, I think, her fifth or sixth book that I read. And this is a collection of short stories. So, would you like to tell us more about the stories that you have penned here?
Yes. Although, the book seems to have a certain common thread, that pain in the womb, it deals with the many issues that parents and children have between themselves. It's a perennial thing. And we look at this bond as something that cannot be snapped, come what may. At least our culture teaches us to keep going with the relationship, and we never think of breaking away at any point in time. But then, like all other relationships and bonds, there are challenges that come across. It's not that it's a very smooth sail always, whether it's between me and my parents or me and my children. It's always that, and we have all been witnesses to that. So the characters in these stories also face a lot of these situations and these circumstances. And what do they do when they come across it? When it's very difficult for someone to say, that my son isn't my son anymore, for he has gone against me, or my parents have acted against my wishes. Or it's very easy for us to speak about it, but then we don't tend to take it beyond that. But then there are situations where you are caught in a bind. You don't know what to do next, so, and that's one aspect of it. And there are other aspects of this parent-child relationship wherein we go through emotions, upheavals of different kinds, and these characters in the stories are all representations of these challenges that we come across. And how do they face it? What do they do in the face of these challenges is what these stories are about. And it's just a coincidence that the stories ended up being thematically similar. It wasn't planned that way. It's just that I wrote these stories over a period of time, and then when I just wanted to put them together, I saw that yes, there is something about it. So I think inherently we have this parent bond, the child relationship so strongly embedded in us, right? That any story that we write about, it turns out to be either a relationship with our partner or with our children.
Exactly.
Do you understand? So, and it somehow turned out that most of these stories were, between parents and children. So that's how this book came about.
Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. That because one more thing which I would like to tell everyone is that I read all these stories, and I realized, the way Asha has ended all these stories. In fact, that's what I think wrote also in my review, that they have the potential to be developed into a full-scale novel. And that's what I told Asha also, that if she does not develop them into novel, then probably I might write them as a novel.
I've taken that threat very seriously, and I'm mentally working on a couple of them. Let's see. Let's hope that something turns out of all that effort.
So now coming back once again to these stories, see, I right from the first story. First story itself is about an older woman, and she gets disturbed when she gets a message from her daughter, a married daughter, that the daughter is going to come and live with them for a few months. And she gets worried. She starts imagining all kinds of things, whether everything is all right in her daughter's marital home or not. And she, for that one night, she remains very disturbed till the time she comes to know about the reason why the daughter is coming. Then there are a few stories about the older people. The old people who have been kind of, I should not use the word, but they have been abandoned by their children. So now, Asha, coming to you, I wanted to know, what made you conceive these situations? Was it the imagined, insecurities that you yourself have about growing old? or about the happiness of your children? Or were these situations that you faced or you came across in your own lives or in the lives of others close to you?
No, they're not entirely mine. I think they are all observations they were gleaned from people around me. And as a writer, you would also know that we draw inspiration for our stories from people around us, because I tell my students also when I teach them, it's not possible for us to experience everything in life. The entire world cannot be experienced by us individually, personally. So the only way we can know the world, we can know life, is partly by knowing others or through their own experiences. And when we observe the other people's lives more closely, that's when we understand that this is a reality in someone else's life, probably not in my own. So that becomes a seed of thought for me, for a story around which I spin the reality around them. It's like I know that this is possible in somebody else's life. Probably it may not entirely be, the story may not be entirely based on somebody's life, but that seed of thought is enough for me to think what probably could happen to a person who is in that situation. I put myself in their shoes and then think about the possibilities around it, how life might treat them, how they might look at life. So there are various things, there are various dynamics that work around this. So it's not entirely mine. Some aspects of my insecurities, they do seep in. It's inevitable that we don't put in our own fears and insecurities and all those things, but I think it's a mix of both. And yes, mostly it is of people that I've seen and I have empathized with them. The more you relate to them and the more you empathize with them, the more you understand what they are going through, the better you become as a writer and a storyteller.
That's right. Yeah,
right.
Very true. Very true. Because in fact, I remember, my grandparents' days, my grandparents were never hesitant in staying with us. They were older and, so they never hesitated. But then, there was a reservation in my parents to come and stay with us because they valued their independence much more. I'm not so sure. And, so this is a growing tendency in the society.
Exactly.
Which is something, probably the pandemic has taught us. The joint families have really come back, I would say.
Very, very incidentally, I write a column for Khaleej Times. I write a column every 2 weeks, and Sundays are the days that I keep apart. The mornings when I write my column, and what you just spoke is exactly what I have written this morning in my column for this week. And I'll be very happy to share it with you whenever it is published in the next 2 days. Yeah. And I believe that, we have to get back to that system. So I'm not going to tell you what I have written in that, but then what you say is so true. But then I think it is very subjective. It's very personal too, Sanjay, because, wanting to go and stay with children or not wanting to is also a personal choice that parents are making. And I think now it's becoming more like, the parents are also allowing the children to take their own decisions, and the children are allowing the parents to take their own decisions, so whatever is comfortable for each of them is what is being done. And it's very hard for us to place the blame on anyone because, I think things are changing. So it's so dynamic. It's so changing every day that, what is right today for me may not be right for me a week later.
Exactly.
So my choice today may seem perfect today, but then it might not seem perfect 2 years later, Right. So I place the blame for my own choices and my own decisions.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's true. In fact, there's yet another story, which is set in sometimes probably a couple of 100 years later. And it is about a scenario, where everyone is moving around with an oxygen cylinder on his or her back. Because of the greed, because of the degradation of the environment that we have wrought in our times. So how did you come to envisage that kind of a scenario?
I must say this is my favorite story, the most favorite story in the whole book, because it depicts reality from a very different perspective, a reality that we know, we are very much aware of, but we tend to close our eyes to deliberately. It's something that I really want to underline. I want to underscore the point that, please, when I talk about, the pain in the womb, it's this, the pain in the womb of Mother Earth is something that I feel very, very strongly about. And the fact that we don't do much about it is something that disturbs me a lot. Okay. And as I was telling you sometime earlier, it's all about me, my own immediate needs and concerns. I don't think more beyond that. Okay. And when we don't do that, what might befall us in the future is what I wanted to, depict through this story. And very surprisingly, and you will not believe it, this oxygen cylinder story, this story I wrote much before what happened to us in Delhi and during COVID times, the running around and the shortage of oxygen supplies. When it really happened, I was like, I had goosebumps. I said, how did I even think of writing this much before that? I wrote it probably a year before all these things happened. And then I said, this is going to be reality. And I thought this might happen 100 years later. No, it's happening right now. Yeah. We are scrambling all around for a gust of air, pure oxygen, right when I'm alive. So what is it going to be like for our children? 100, 200 years for our future generations, 100, 200 years later, when, there is rationing of oxygen, when people die because their oxygen cylinders have run out. And it was appalling for me to even think about it. And I really wanted to, highlight that part of my concern in the story.
Yeah, it was really scary, because, we don't conserve water, we don't, care for the environment. So that situation, that kind of a scenario is a very distinct scenario where we have a shortage of oxygen and, people need oxygen cylinders actually even to survive.
Yes. And, there is, when the desertification of land, it's a very, very real prospect that we don't really try to understand and realize the seriousness of, lands are all becoming bereft of water. There is less moisture content in the air. All these things are happening. And we know about all these things. We speak a lot about, volumes have been written about climate change and everything, but what are we doing about it? So, but then somewhere I also feel that if we would only set ourselves right now, if we still have time, it's still not too late. So if we could, probably we will be saved. And, there is hope for us. And that hope is something that I wanted to show through the story too. It's not all gloom and doom. Probably nature has given us time and an opportunity to correct ourselves, and we will put us on the right path now without much delay. We still can have a good few generations ahead.
I agree, and I mean to that. Yeah, certainly.
Yes.
So would you like to read a few excerpts from your book?
To be very honest, can I confess I forgot to take the copy of my book. It's not with me. So would you like to read something that you have loved the most if you have the book with you? I think it's a lapse on my part that I don't have the copy in my hand right now.
So this story is called The Gift of Petrichor. I hope I have pronounced that word correctly.
Yes, Petrichor.
So just a short few lines. It was the weekly storytelling night in the village. The elders of the community took turns to narrate stories drawn from the past to the little boys and girls who had yet to know the vagaries of life. This particular night, it was a full house with even the adults in attendance. No one wanted to miss the stories that Buddha Baba brought from the places he had passed through the centuries. Buddha Baba did not belong to the village. It wasn't even his real name. He had come from somewhere at some point in time, but did not live in their midst. It took a long time for them to accept him into their fold. So this is one of these stories. This is a collection of 12 stories, and really, wonderful and beautiful anthology, I would say. So moving on.
If you can get me the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. No, I'm trying to get the book so that I could read a few lines too, Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be wonderful.
Please.
That would be wonderful.
Yes, please go ahead.
Asha, you have so far published 6 books, and
Yes.
all 6 of them are diverse in nature. There is a novel, there is a book of poems, there are
Yes.
short stories, there is philosophy also. I think
Yes.
Emoji is more of a philosophical kind of a book.
Right.
So, would you like to tell us a little about your earlier books?
Yes. My first book was published in 2009. It was a novel, and it's currently out of print. And it was published in those days when when publishing hadn't grown so much, and we hadn't heard so much about authors and writing and stuff. So the book needs to be just refurbished a bit and then republished, which I'll be doing very, very soon. So I would hope that you would all read it, and please look forward to it. So that's a novel based on people. I had recently moved into the Middle East at that point in time. Okay, 1998. That's when I started writing this book, and it was very ambitious. Let me be very honest. When I look back on it, I feel like, how on earth did I even start thinking of writing a full-length novel? The first attempt itself, a debut novel. Come on, yeah, I wouldn't do it today. I don't have the guts to do it today, okay, to be very honest. But then, when you're younger, you tend to take far greater risks, and then you don't think much of consequences. So that's how I started writing that story. It was about, when I landed here, I saw this cluster of people who lived away from family, whom we are very familiar with by now. We know these, the Gulfies, the so-called Gulfies, who stay away from their families for years together, for decades, perhaps. I know my house help and others who have been away from their family for 25 years and such. And their lives touched a chord. It made me feel so bad for all of them that I wanted to write about them. And I had seen the other side of the story too, where the families are left behind. The wives have been, living alone for a long time, and they haven't met their husbands for 3 years, and life just goes on 2 parallel tracks for them. So that is the basic premise of that book. That was a novel, which I will be republishing. Let me reiterate that once again, so that it will remain in your memories. That was the first one, and then it was a long break. I don't know for what. I think I just didn't know what to do next, or I don't know why. It took a long time for me to even think of a second book. I didn't think I was ready to take a complete, total plunge into writing. And I think, I was I think it was, I don't know what. It was like, 2009. I started writing in 2001 or 2, 2004 I finished. And from then on, trying to get it published was a huge struggle. Those days it was a much bigger struggle. And then eventually in 2009 it got published. And then I thought, no, I just need to rest a while. Let me give myself a break. Probably I was a little too fatigued about the whole process of getting it published. And 2013 around, I just suddenly got into this, frenzied phase of writing poems. Probably that also, I don't know, it marked a certain change in the way I was looking at life, and things were turning around for me. And probably there was some kind of something that was going on within me. And a lot of these things, translated into poems. And what do you do when you have 500, 600 poems on your Word document, Sanjay ji? At the end of it, you are going to, you think, what do you do with it, So then I thought, okay, why not put them all together, at least a few of them together. And then, that would probably give me some kind of impetus. It would give me some kind of encouragement to at least continue writing. Writing is something that I've always enjoyed doing, but then, there are circumstances, there are these external factors that often, come in as hurdles that kind of stop you from giving out your best. So I didn't want that to happen. So I thought, okay, let me come out with these set of poems, and that's how the book of poems happened. And at that point in time, I realized, between the novel and the poems, I still continued writing. You won't believe it. that's when I wrote about 10 to 12 long stories, about 5 to 6,000 worded stories, yes.
Okay.
And they were so beautiful. Once I did the poem book, I realized, okay, now I'm going to go with my short stories. So I had the short stories ready with me. And I said, but then I had such discouraging remarks from all around where people said short stories don't sell. People don't read short stories. It's not as popular as novels are, And I just wanted to give it a shot and see if people would even really read short stories. And that's how I just wanted to try an ebook. I came out with an ebook with just 3 stories, And the kind of response I received was so good, so good. I said, no, short stories are not dying anytime soon. Come on. And I love writing short stories because they're easy on the reader. You give a complete experience of a narrative to a reader, and he or she doesn't have to spend too much time dwelling on it. And if I'm a good raconteur, if I can tell a story very well, I can give a full life experience through just one simple story. So that format, that genre of writing really has a great appeal. And I said, okay, fine. So I have a few more stories left with me. I'm going to go ahead and publish the rest of them. So that's how, yes. So that's how After the Rain came. It's a book of 5 long stories. Again, beautiful set of stories. Then I thought, there's no stopping. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with my story writing. Yes, thank you. And 2019 was a year when, I came out with a book called Life is an Emoji. Okay. It's a collection of all my life-based articles written for Khaleej Times. I've been writing for a column on life for Khaleej Times from 2010. So people immensely love these columns. I mean, they love these articles. And I felt at one point in time that, these articles should be put together so that they are all in one place for people to it's like a book that you just pick up and then read one article and then you take away something for the day, a thought for the day kind of book, So I thought, okay, putting them together is going to be very useful for a lot of readers who like my stuff, my writing. So that's how, it's about 130 articles on various aspects of life, looked at from different perspectives. So whatever I wrote every week, at that time, it used to be a weekly column. So I put 130 of, the best articles curated from that period of time. And that's what Life is an Emoji is all about. And then that pain in the womb happens. I'm very, very happy for the way the book has done. It has been received with such warmth by people, and sure. I'm really thankful to God Almighty for making me do this, for writing through me.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And those articles that you spoke about, they remind me of. In fact, I'll pick up that book also and read it. Remind me of 2 Indian journalists, I would say. Not journalists. One is a famous celebrity, Twinkle Khanna. She writes Mrs. Funny Bones, and there are also articles on life itself. And another one is Vinita Davra Nangia, who writes in Times of India.
Correct. Yes. I read Vinita's. I used to read Vinita's once upon a time too. Yes, and it's very interesting, Sanjayji, to be able to have a space. And I'm so grateful to God. I'm so grateful to the cosmos for giving me these opportunities. Where in the morning when I sat down to write today, I had no clue what I would write today about. Because the last 2 days were very busy, and I couldn't spend time thinking on what I must write next. When I sit in the seat where I'm sitting right now, and then I just leave it to God. I leave it to that supreme power. I say, you prompt, you tell me what I should write about. And then in some time, it just happens to me. And the moment I finish writing a story, the moment I finish writing an article, it's beautiful. I just can't explain to you what it means to me, and that's exactly what keeps me writing continuously.
So would you like to recite a few lines from any of your poems that you have written?
I just got this book. This is funny because I should have been prepared. I know it's
No,
my
that's
bad.
okay,
I should have been prepared with all the books next to me. I didn't have that pain in the womb, and my husband, being the nice husband that he is, he came running, bringing this book to me. And now suddenly, yeah. So, is it okay if I read something from the book itself?
Yeah, sure.
You have, okay, there you go. It helps to have a work from home husband,
And incidentally for the readers and viewers, this also is, I would say, destiny or coincidence. I was interacting with Asha, and she asked me that if I had studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya JRC Bareilly, and her husband had also studied there only. And so, that I call this something like a karmic connection, probably.
Very true.
So please go ahead. Yeah.
Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Random. Okay. There is a little bit of the metaphysical in these poems. It's like I always tell people that if you want to read these poems and feel it is to your real life beloved, it can be. Or if you want to give it an ethereal aspect, you can do that too. So either way, as it suits the listener. If it is true, by you I am loved. If it is true that by you I am loved, do me a favor, my beloved. You permeate my days like sparkling summer rays. Now glide into my sleep and descend in me so deep. If it is true that by you I am loved, do me a favor, my beloved. You permeate my days like sparkling summer rays. Now glide into my sleep and descend in me so deep that I dream with your eyes and breathe with your sighs. One sleep between you and me, and just one melting reverie.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So yeah.
It's a connection. It's a connection that you feel with the most beloved person, the beloved power, or whichever you would like to take. And then, where the merging happens. And then, when you merge, there is only one set of eyes that you dream with, and there's only one dream that you have.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very sublime.
Thank you.
So out of novels, poems, or short stories, which is your favorite? I mean, or you love writing all three?
Novels, it's hard to say that I don't love novels, but then novels are difficult to come by. It's a long process. And whoever would write a novel, it's very difficult for me to, judge anybody's novel as good, bad, trash, or anything, because I always feel that somebody who has put in so much of effort to write so many words, it may not be the best of writing, but then somebody has actually invested time, energy, and his own life into it. So it's so difficult for someone to complete a novel. Okay, which is why I don't take the chance, because I don't know how it's going to be. I did it first. Yes, I did it. Fine. I still want to do it. I've taking cue from what you have suggested, all of my stories could be converted. I am working mentally on a couple of them. So should everything fall in place and should everything happen as destined, maybe I'll come up with a novel very soon. But it's only the tedium of writing a full-length novel that keeps me away from it, that deters me. Short stories, on the other hand, I feel it gives me a more flexibility. It gives me more ease of expression. So that way, in fiction, I love short story better. Okay, if I can, it's like asking, do you like mom or dad more? It's hard to say, but then dad buys me all stuff, so I like him. Mom cooks me all stuff, so I like her. That's how it is. Okay, poems are things that happen spontaneously. They're just spontaneous stuff. So I do that even now, but then I don't give them much care as in, getting them published again or going for another book of poems or something, unless I really feel like, okay, I need to have one more book on Amazon on my name. So that's something that I might probably do. But otherwise, I keep writing poems now and then. Yes, life articles. Life articles are my most favorite. It's like personal essays are my most favorite things to write.
Right. I'd love to please do share, any of the articles that we would love to read them.
I will from now on, my fortnightly articles, whichever is published, I will pass it on to you. Yes, you may share it with whoever you feel.
We will share
right.
with our group also.
Thank you. Yes.
So what is your writing process? Are you a pen and paper person, or you write on your laptop or
laptop? Yes, I don't know. I can't even sign my name properly straight now. That's how bad I have become with pen and paper. No, I mean, hard confessions to make, you won't believe it. Okay, let me just show this to you. Since this is a very informal kind of conversation that we are having, I just got a set of, what this is. I just got a set of calligraphy pens. Because I just wanted to get back to some good style of writing. I just said that, I need to retrain my fingers to write properly, to get my strokes correct. It's not because I'm going to write a thesis by hand at any time. But then I said, this is something I've been doing and I used to have a very good hand. No, it's insane that I can't even sign my name straight 5 times. If I have to sign a document, 5 signatures are so far different from each other. No, this is not done, so I still use the laptop.
Okay. So now for our viewers and readers, Asha recently met the Nobel Literature Prize winner for 2021, Abdul Razak Gurna. Is Gurna the right pronunciation or Gurna?
Correct. Gurna. Yeah.
So what did you two talk about, Asha? Were you in awe? Would you like to share your experience of meeting a Nobel Literature Prize winner?
To call it a meeting would be an exaggeration, because it was just that momentary tryst that you have, it's just that, it was unexpected completely. And, but that experience was wonderful, and it's going to stay with me forever. When the Nobel Prize was announced, most people did not even have a clue about the writer. No one had heard much about him, and no one knew about his background. And we were all, scurrying to find more about him, details about him and what he had done. And he's from Tanzania. Okay, we understand he's a professor of literature in UK, those things. And then that's when, I'm not very fond of buying prize winnings to, books by prize winners in a jiffy like that. I just don't do that. I take my own time. But excuse me. On that particular day, I was just going across, and then I saw that his books were not even available easily. And that was a surprise to me. And suddenly I came across a couple of books that were available on Kindle. And then I said, okay, I'm going to just sample one of them. And I sampled one of them. And to my surprise, Sanjay ji, his writing captivated me instantly. It was instant love at first sight to his prose. Okay, and I said, no, this is one person, this is one writer that I'm going to read right away. And I bought the book, I started reading, and that's when it was announced that, at the Sharjah Book Festival, Gurna is going to be the chief guest and he's going to be there. And I said, okay, I'm going to be there too, because I had my books at the book fair. So I was selling my books at the books fair, and I said, okay, I'm going to attend this session. And then I go there, and incidentally, Asha is a very common name in Zanzibar and, in Swahili. Yes. So, 2 of his books have characters called Asha. And I know that I was thoroughly kicked. I was thrilled, to see that, my name in a Nobel Prize winner's book. That is something. So that's a hint. That's some kind of, it's universe is showing some sign out there, you got to continue writing or something. Okay. And then I go there, I attend this session, and then I listen to him. And at the end of the session, when the session was open to Q&A, I didn't know. I didn't have many questions. What do you ask something of a person of such stature and caliber? So I just wanted to say thanks to him. I just, because he had given me such a beautiful reading experience. I had by then finished his first book, and the style, that he employs, such leisurely, such unhurried manner of writing, not to everyone's taste, let me warn, but then it was something that I loved. And I wanted to just say thanks to him. I stood up, I said, thank you very much, Mr. Gurna, for the book, for your writing. And it has influenced me so much. And at some point, and I said, I write a bit too. I felt so embarrassed, so awkward to claim that. But then at some point in time, I just blurted that out. I said, I write a bit too. And at some point in time, if I do make a mark on the international scene, and if somebody asks me, who are your influences, I think your name will be one of the influences I would take. And that was it. And then you had the signing part of the session. So I went to him and then he said, are you the one who writes? He looked at my face and said, are you the one who writes? I said, yes, sir, I am. All right. I normally only sign in the book, but for you, I'm going to write your name. And he writes, to Asha, best wishes, and then he signs my name. Oh my gosh, this was like, I know, when he said that I only, sorry?
Over the moon.
I was over the moon. I couldn't believe it was happening. It's not about, I don't know, it was not a, photo op, or it was not a social media moment for me. It's just that, I never expected this to happen. And I felt, there's something that tells me that, Asha, at some point of time, if you feel like giving up writing, you must think of this moment. There was something about it. There was something that keeps telling me that, no, you cannot stop writing, no matter what happens with your books, or no matter how well or poorly it is received. Writing is in your destiny and you must continue doing it. So that's the message I received from the whole experience.
We also want you to keep writing and keep entertaining us. So what is the
Thank you, Sanjay.
So what is the next project that you are working on?
Presently, I just want to tweak my first novel, my debut novel, and then to bring it out, because it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And I want to do that first. And then, thanks to you, I may probably work on my novel based on one of the stories from that. I'm not telling you which, okay? I'm not telling you what I'm going to do with it, but pray for me that it happens, because as you would know, it's not very easy for somebody to stay sustained in one's, that determination, everything that resolve that you need, and that continued self-inspiration, self-motivations, especially because we live in times when it's less of writing and more of publicity, right, Sanjayji?
Yeah, very true.
Right. So when even as I'm writing, there was a time when I used to write only because I used to love writing. But the moment now I start writing, I think like if I write, I'll be forced to do more of publicity of the book, which is going to take away the entire joy of writing from me. Let me be very frank about it. Probably people don't talk about it much because, it's again going to be misconstrued by the public. But let me tell you, it is a fact that, for us authors, the joy of writing is often taken away by the pressures of marketing and publicity.
Exactly. Very true.
Right. And that kind of intimidates me. That scares me now. So I really hope and I pray that, that doesn't come and mar my, the desire to keep writing and then to go forward with it. But I think I will. I think, I will come up with something very soon.
Yes, we'll look forward to it.
Thank you.
Now a few rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Your favorite author and book?
Book, The God of Small Things. Author, Ruskin Bond. Simple answers. Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite cuisine?
Punjabi.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Your husband is a Punjabi?
No, he's not. He's a South Indian. I love South Indian, but I think, South Indian being South Indian, like something that I've grown up with. Punjabi is something that I really relish, one step more than South Indian.
Okay, okay. Your favorite drink?
Filter coffee.
Oh, very nice. Your favorite attire?
Sorry. Any day.
Any day. Okay. Are you a morning person or an evening person?
Late night person, yes.
Midnight person. Okay. What makes you happy?
Small things. This made me happy today when I received. No, actually, what makes me happy? Receiving an Amazon courier. You know why? They come with the bubble wraps. I love popping them. I love popping them. You know, love receiving the Amazon stuff. Less for the item inside it and more for the pops. It makes me very happy.
Okay. So your happiest memory, other than popping those bubbles?
My happiest memory. Happiest memory. Getting married.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. No, actually, I don't know. I would request my husband to, excuse me, pardon me for revealing this bit of story from our lives. My husband used to smoke, okay, before our marriage, and I couldn't take it. And one day after our marriage, I said that this smell kind of puts me off, and I just don't think I'll be able to adjust to it. And that was the last time he smoked. And he just flicked the butt. Okay. And that's the last time I ever seen him with a cigarette in his hand. And that flick of the butt, that I think is my happiest memory.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Really nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
So one thing that you would like to change in your life?
Pretty much nothing. I don't think we are all. I think that most of us would say the same thing. Pretty much nothing, right? We are very happy. If I may extend that answer, there's the story that I've read somewhere. Where people go with their own set of woes to God, and then they complain, and then God says, "Okay, leave your own, pura bhanda wahan chhod do, और किसी का चाहिए तो उठा लो." And then people go around, have a look at other people's things, and they say that नहीं यार मेरा ही ठीक है. I'm happy with whatever I have. That's the story of our lives, right?
I know. Yeah. There's nothing, that, it's our life, and yeah, we love it.
I know.
And the last, your soulmate?
That's hard for me to answer. Because I'm deeply spiritual, Sanjay ji, so if you would ask me on a material level, it would be a different answer. But if you ask me, I'm constantly connected to a power above me. I feel that. So if I could call that my soulmate, yes. But then I have a great partner in my life whom I would also like to call my soulmate. So between the two, it's hard for me to choose.
Okay. Yeah. So now I'll open the session for our, our viewers and readers, if they have any, whatever queries or whatever questions we receive on the Facebook Live. I think once I'll share the recording with you, and you can respond to them. But those those who are here, if they would like to ask anything, Asha, then please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yes,
please ask them.
Very good evening. I'm Professor Shankar Sahai. Indeed, a pleasure to meet you, Asha, and thanks a lot for this wonderful interaction. I've always been in touch with Chandraji, and he's been a big help. I've just put up on the chat box also my comment. I couldn't agree with you more. And you were saying about the short stories, because incidentally, our first book, mine and my wife's first book, is a collection of short stories by the name of Chandosi Junction. And that is also doing very well. So I full compliment you.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask you, you have said that there were a lot of naysayers who said that short stories do not sell. Have you been meeting them? What is their reaction now?
No, I haven't met them after that, and I don't find a reason to do that. There have been many naysayers throughout my life, like most of us would have, right? And I think, the way we perform and the way we move forward is the only way we can answer all of them. And going back to them and telling them, look what I did, would take away from the glory of whatever we have done. So if they are there to watch it, well and good. But then I always feel that, there is the universe watching it for us, and the message is going to be loud and clear out to them at some point in time or the other. So I haven't gone back and told them anything or met them after that.
Thank you, Shankarji.
Thank you very much, Shankarji. And all the very best to your book too. I'll check it out.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yes.
Anybody else would like to ask anything? Please go ahead, interact.
I think I want to say something.
Yeah, please, Ushaji, please go ahead.
Please.
I feel that she talked about that sensitiveness, that feeling that she had somebody, that connection. It is that connection with every writer I feel need. And that comes only at times. I could write a beautiful poem at a time. And then I can spend years and I can't write a line. I should write as a kid, then I stop. So the connection has to be there. And the blessed people who have the connection. I wish I'd get my connection back.
Yes.
Because I can write, I can, if while we are talking, I can talk poetry. So that's it.
That's it. Yes. Yes, I understand, Ushaji. It's not mere words. It's also about that connection that we need to have. And that is something that I call grace, and that grace should happen. It's not something that we can work towards and we cannot claim it from somewhere. And that's a grace that we need to constantly yearn for, long for. And it happens, I feel, the longing and the craving is what probably will make it happen. And I'm sure, if you have that enough, even today, you will be able to do it. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. You'll come back and tell me one of these days. I'm sure you'll come back and tell me one of these days that, you just found it. When you find it, I'll tell you one small thing that I've heard somewhere. It's like, when we go to these very crowded temples, right? So we have so many of these people passing by, and then we just catch a glimpse of the deity out there, right? Right. So those are those we don't see. But then what happens is that one glimpse of the deity is what we carry with us for the rest of the time, and then we draw our inspiration from that one moment. I think when you try to do that, it works much better. Yeah, so that's how I look at it, that the connection may not constantly be eye to eye. The one moment's eye to eye may translate into something much bigger later. That's how I have felt. So I'm certain that you're going to find it very soon.
Hope so.
All the very best. All the very best. And please let me know, Sanjay, if Ushaji comes back and tells you that she did, okay?
Yeah. Certainly. Thank you, Ushaji.
Thank you, Ushaji.
Very nice.
So anyone else? So I think that's it. That's it, Ushaji. So, any parting message that you would like to leave for our viewers?
Pradeep seems to have unmuted.
Hi, Pradeep. I just wanted to ask you something.
Yeah, please.
Yes, Pradeep. Hello. Yes.
Hi, Asha. Congratulations and all my good wishes for
Thank you
all
very much.
your forthcoming books also.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What I wanted to ask you is, you said once that what kicks you off perhaps is the idea that you have to market your books. Right. Now, there's one thing which I want to tell you is, or maybe it's a passing remark, maybe. See, I feel as a writer, our work should be known to people. When we sing, there are two kinds of singers. One is a bathroom singer, another is a singer. So, a bathroom singer is the one
Yes.
who's singing in close, within the four walls, right?
Correct.
And we don't remember them. We remember Kishore Kumar, we remember
Very
Lata
true.
Mangeshkar.
Correct.
So I feel, personally, your work, for instance, if I didn't come here today, thanks to Sanjay, I'm here, I listened to you, I was, by the way, I'm a debut writer. This is my first
Fantastic.
novel.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you too.
So I'm an anthropologist, so I'm
Okay.
fascinated
too.
with the prehistory. You're an anthropologist.
Me too.
Oh, great. That makes two of us.
By education,
Oh, great.
social
I-
anthropologist.
Social. Anyway, I call myself an anthropologist, although my
Okay.
PhD was in population genetics.
Okay.
But I call myself anthropologist,
Okay.
We have, anyway, that
Okay.
aside, see, what I wanted to tell you on that front is that unless I was invited by Sanjay so kindly, I wouldn't have known you.
Correct.
Now I'll start searching for your books.
Right.
Now I'll start searching for them and try to read them.
Right.
And I would have an opinion about you.
Correct.
And, to be very, very rude, perhaps, I'll either wait for your next book or not wait for your next book.
Very true. No, I mean, that's very
Depending
natural.
on how I
Yeah, that's how natural. I mean,
So-
that's a natural course.
So the point is, the bottom line is, we must market our work because
Right.
you're trying to convey something. And
Correct.
why the world should not know about it.
No, we should. What happens, Pradeep ji?
That's the
No,
solace
I'm
we get.
No, I'm sorry. Let me interrupt. It's not about not wanting to. It's about how much it tires you. That phase that you go through during that, it completely takes away the joy of having written the book itself. It's intimidating.
Yes.
Having gone through it multiple times, it's like, whenever I try to think of my next book, it's like, book तो हो जाएगा यार, उसके बाद का जो है ना यार, मेरे को सोच के ही डर लगता है.
Absolutely. That
Do you
I
understand?
appreciate.
हाँ, वो जो डर जो बैठ जाता है ना मन में उसको लेके, तो लिखने को ही डर हो जाता है. So then I tell myself, नहीं, तुम्हारा लिखना अलग है और तुम्हारा वो जो मार्केटिंग करना वो अलग बात है. वो जो करना होगा तो तब का तब लिख लेंगे. So that's how I push myself forward, right?
But see, my experience, of course, you're a veteran. I'm just born yesterday, I would say, as a writer. But, when it comes to writing, I think, in terms of psychologically, when you write, you don't think about that phase of marketing.
Correct. Correct. That is the only trick. That is the only way it can work. Otherwise, it won't work. Absolutely no. So I have to keep reminding myself of it, कि वो तब का तब सोचेंगे, kind of, Yes, I'm not a veteran, Pradeep ji. It's just that, having gone through it multiple times, I know what to expect.
No, at least you're writing since 2009. I just started
Correct.
2 years ago.
Oh, but then, I'm sure you have lots more left ahead of you. So looking forward to it. Yes. Pradeep ji's book and Shankar ji's books have been, I think Shankar ji's book I saw on Pioneers Club post. But Pradeep ji's I don't remember having seen it. Did you post anything about it, Sanjay ji?
I think, we posted.
Yes, we shared it.
Okay. I'll look for it. Okay.
It's called The Curse of Kuku Tarma.
And Pradeep is going to be our author of the month for next month.
Perfect. I'll be there.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Welcome. So thank you, Pradeep.
Sorry.
And Asha, all I can safely say all my blessings.
Thank you very, very much, Pradeep ji. That's all I need, and I believe, I have huge belief in blessings. Nothing else works. It's not anything of my own. It's just divine blessings that work.
That's
Thank you very much.
That's the connection you were talking about.
Yeah,
You must
probably,
have the
yeah.
blessing.
Correct.
All the best.
Correct.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very
Pradeep.
much.
Thank you very much. So your parting message to our viewers and readers, Asha.
I'm really glad that you are all here first thing, and then I want people to start reading a lot more. I think it's our connection to the world, it's our link to the world, and I think we are all losing connection with the essentials in life. The older we get, we see newer things happening, and we get also sandwiched between what is right and what is wrong, what is real and what is unreal. I'm much younger to many of you people here, but then I understand, as I'm also aging, I also find that, the connection needs to be held on to tightly with life and with the world. And unless we try it hard, it's not going to happen in whatever is, in the kind of world that we are living in. So let's all be bonded, let's all come together, and let's feel that oneness that is there between us. No matter what happens, I may be an author, somebody else might be a scientist, and Pradeepji might be an anthropologist, or somebody else might be a student, but then there is definitely that oneness, and let's feel that, and let's all live life as just one entity. Yeah. So, and let's put this thought into whoever we meet. That's all that we can do for the world and for our generations.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Asha, for a wonderful session. Thank you, readers and viewers, for being a part of this session and for being part of Pioneer Book Lovers Club. And I would once again remind, please do send your short stories for our Write Contest 2021 for a chance to be published. The details are available on our Facebook group of Pioneer Book Lovers Club. And as I had already announced, our author for next month is Pradeep Roy. He has written his first book, The Curse of Kukutarma.
Oh.
And in fact, I have got that book and I would now be reading it. Look out for the notification on the Facebook page of Pioneer Book Lovers Club. Thank you all once again. Stay safe. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to you all from my side too. Thank you, Sanjay ji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Bye. God bless all.
Thank you so much.